What's going on, boys and girls? Welcome back to another video by yours truly. I actually just wanted to take the time today to go over my thoughts with regards to ACHERON's value and why I believe that she is a must pull for pretty much every person in this game. Now, we're going to go over some of the nuances of the discussion, such as what if you have a lightning DPS already, such as a Kafka or a Jingyuan? Do I still need ACHERON type of ordeal? I think there's a couple of arguments you can make as a rebuttal to you don't need ACHERON. Now, at the end of the day, on a literal basis, nobody needs any of the characters, right? But there's certain characters that are just going to provide an undeniable value to your account, as well as long-term sustainability or longevity as a DPS or whatever role they're fulfilling when you pick them up and acquire them. So I want to talk about some of those things. One of the things I want to talk about is she's hot. You know, that's pretty important. Really though, and she's like the weeby badass edgy kind of hot, you know what I mean? I think of Akame from Akame Got Killed, fine as hell, right? She's not drop dead gorgeous like Black Swan and Kafka, where I can't pay attention to dialogue because they're just so goddamn gorgeous, right? She's not that kind of hot. She's the weeby edgy badass kind of hot, which is actually my favorite kind of attractiveness as an anime girl. She reminds me of Yoruichi from Bleach, right? And again, Yoruichi is like a woman of her own caliber, right? But she reminds me of Nelliel from Bleach as well. And damn, Bleach got the badass girls, don't they? They really do. Nelliel, the grown-up version, by the way. Jokes aside, the real value of ACHERON is going to be that she's also a walking quality of life character. Her technique is, I think it's one up to, it's either right here or it's one up Ruan Mei's technique. The fact that you can just obliterate trash mobs from a grindy, free-to-play, sweaty player perspective, yes, you can go around clearing the map. Now, granted, you're going to have to consume a shit ton of skill points, which if you've been crafting that one little item, you're good. That's what I do every single week, by the way. I have like 95 of them. So that's a good thing. But Simulated Universe, right? Swarm Disaster, Golden Gears, and the ones that are going to be coming out in the future, the other future Simulated Universes, all the trash mobs, plus, of course, the most mundane of them all, by the way, the one you do every single week to get your damn relics. To reduce the time spent doing that is, I think that's like almost something you can't put a price tag on, right? If I can reduce my time spent doing that damn tedious crap, or I can spend less time in the incredibly time-consuming Swarm Disaster and Golden Gears, that in and of itself, who cares about the meta? That alone, I'm picking up the character for, right? Ruan Mei, I literally cannot imagine doing Simulated Universe without her anymore. I can't imagine being maidenless. I've said this before, but bro, if you're maidenless, oh my God, bro, Elden Ring 2. It is so convenient having Ruan Mei on my team when I go and do my Simulated Universe. She makes the time there so much better. And ACHERON is going to make the time there even better than that because she just obliterates the trash mobs. Now, you can make the argument, oh, I just go Occurrence every time. Well, sometimes Occurrence bricks the hell out of you and you end up having the most garbage like RNG. But either way, you're inevitably going to run into trash mobs throughout the whole, like just the progression of the game. It genuinely is a game changer, guys. Let's be honest here. So that in and of itself is something that provides an undeniable value. The other thing, though, that I really took some time to ponder about is the fact that ACHERON's kit functions without the need to rely on a Harmony unit. Now, you've probably heard me and Pokey's debate about cost to performance, right? And Pokey made the argument about you can run Sparkle, Bronya, and Ruan Mei all on the same comp type of ordeal. And then there's layers of expensive to that argument that we don't even have to get into. That's besides the point. But on a base foundational level, Sparkle, Bronya, Ruan Mei is too expensive, right? Because you 9 times out of 10, you're gonna take one of those units and put them on the other side. Well, now we have a unit coming out that literally does not need any Harmony units to function. So as long as you have Nihility units or units that can inflict debuffs on the enemy, ACHERON is going to pop off. Like, she's just gonna pop off. So if you pick this character up, one side with ACHERON is just 2 Nihility units and a Sustainer if you're a casual. If you're a sweaty zero cycle doing the most player, you might put 1 Harmony unit as that third sustainless character. But for the vast majority of you, it's 2 Nihility units in ACHERON, right? And a Sustainer. That comp's good, doom. Now you got the second comp. and they have an abundance of harmony units accessible and ready to be utilized on that comp, which is going to make your time in in-game formats such as Pure Fiction and the Memory of Chaos so much easier now that you have pretty much, you like pick and choose all the freaking harmony characters you have available to you. Rame Sparkle, Ting Yun, Branya, Hanya, whoever, you name it, Asta. You can use all of those units on that other side because Acheron is held down with her debuffers, and that is another value that you just cannot deny. Black Swan and Kafka have it to a degree, but the thing with Black Swan and Kafka, they really do need a Ranmei or a Asta to function. Like, they need a harmony unit like Ranmei or Asta. If you don't have that, that comp feels kind of grimy. I mean, the performance goes down significant, and you always have these copers who try to make an argument that it doesn't. Yes, it does. It goes down significantly. Now, Jing Yuan, who's our other lightning DPS in the game, who's up prevalent, he's a picky motherfucker to build. Like, you need Ting Yun, Ranmei. You need those two. Like, you really do need those two to make Jing Yuan function. And now he has Sparkle as well. You're going to want to use some of those units. So like, if you take Acheron out of the scenario and you're going up against a lightning format, Kafka and Jing Yuan, they're going to need some harmony units to function. And that's going to take away from the value of your other side. We're talking about making them perform on an optimal level here, by the way. Again, Acheron, you don't need them. You really don't. Not from a two support units sustain type of ordeal. Sweaty, yeah, but again, nobody's doing the sweaty shit except tryhards like me, Pokey, and the 0.1 percenters basically. The thing about Acheron is that being able to function with nihility units and debuff inflictors in and of itself is a long-term sustainability. There's always going to be another debuffer coming around down the lane. Hell, Aventurine, he inflicts debuffs, right? So it's not even just limited to the nihility path. Sustainers will inflict debuffs. So she is proving that it is incredibly hard to power creep her. Plus, she's Raiden, right? Raiden Shogun still ain't power crept in Genshin Impact. Raiden May still ain't power crept in Honkai, unless, or Honkai Impact, I believe, unless like they gave her an enhanced version of herself, right? So like, that's one thing, which is actually more of a joke, but it's serious. It's also true. But the fact that she's always going to be able to perform as long as people inflict debuffs means her value is going to go into the goddamn abyss. It's in perpetuity. She's not going to like fall off. It's just like Kafka with dot units. There's always going to be another dot unit who comes along and revitalizes Kafka. The other cool thing about Acheron is she functions with Black Swan and Kafka because they inflict debuffs. So like, that kind of unit is a unit you can always rely on, is where my point is going with this whole entire ordeal. Now let's move on to other aspects and variables that are just as significant, and I feel also undervalued. Topaz comes to mind when it comes to picking up a unit. The feel of the unit, the animation quality of the unit, which, by the way, I don't know about y'all, but from where I stand, she power crept every single unit in the game before her in terms of animation quality. They went all out for this goddamn woman. Like, her animation quality is just 30 out of 10, bro. What the and like I said, this reminds me, it goes back to the Topaz conversation when I was telling y'all that her animations looked incredibly mid and shit. This is a perfect example of what I meant, of what Hoyoverse is capable of with the budget they have, the team they have, the resources they have. They can honestly do this with every character. I'll call them out on this. They can do that shit with every character. They just choose not to, or they pick and choose who they actually want to do it with, maybe to push the narrative to pick that character up and push banner sales. Who knows? Only God knows at this point, in Hoyoverse themselves. What I can tell you is that her animations look so goddamn god tier that the feel of this character is gonna be exhilarating, so to speak. The point is, the concept along with the animation qualities is god tier. The concept, the fact that when she doesn't need an energy recharge to function like everyone else, she has her like own built-in energy recharge based off of inflicting debuffs. That's a cool and fun concept. Her skill looking like an ultimate in and of itself, and then the ultimate, she transforms into a different form. Brother, sister, nobody on planet Earth can convince me that that's a meh. And if you think that's a meh, you're either a Genshin cuck who hates on Honkai Star Rail daily, or you're just blind. I don't know what else to say about this. I honestly believe that with all of this stuff I've just mentioned, she's going to be the character who can truly outsell Scylla. And if she doesn't outsell Scylla, I said this in the live stream, then by God, HSR is officially just overrated. And I know that y'all are going to be like, but Smack, you got to understand, Scylla's hard to outsell because she had the anchor buff, right? The game just came out, FOMO and hype buff. I understand this, but we're also getting a top-up refresh with Acheron's release next month because she's also going to be a part of the anniversary. There's a lot of buffs going into this as well, on top of just her kit just being the most coolest shit we've seen thus far, which I also would like to call out the morons back then that said her design was mid and that they're not pulling on the character because they don't like the design of how she looks and what the clothes that she wears in the weapon. They said they didn't like that. We gonna see now. Remember what I told y'all? I said, all right, we'll see. Because I was making the argument. Yeah, we're going on a tangent. Y'all know Gacha Smack got go on a goddamn tangent. These motherfuckers were trying to make the argument that they pull on characters purely based off of how they look, whether they like how the character looks or not. And they said they didn't like her. I made the argument that the gameplay, the animation, and the feel of the character is actually what people are pull on, despite them telling the lie that they actually don't pull on a character based off of those things. Shut the fuck up. Anyways, you can make the argument that to a degree, all of it plays a role into whether you pull on a character or not. But I think, honestly, if you're based enough, you'll admit that if a character doesn't look that good, but they feel amazing, their animation and gameplay combat are just absolutely exhilarating, cut above the rest, you'll be able to make an exception, which, to my point, we will see that very soon. That's going to wrap up this video. As always, thanks for watching. Peace, love, and happiness. I'll catch you guys on the flip side.